everyone, and welcome back to the fourth round of Reykjavik Open 2015. As I've already announced on the chat, we're very shortly going to be joined by Grandmaster David Navarro, who won a very nice game against the local Grandmaster Christiansson. So meanwhile, while we wait for David, who's just analyzing his game, will join us as soon as he's done with that. Do you want to maybe go back to Hjörvar on the fourth board?
Should be game over-ish.
Yeah.
Looks like it. Let's go back a little bit. We had G takes H3. That's what happened.
A lot of moves happened.
And I'm kidding. The sound is not broken. I was messing with Peter. But okay, G takes H3. Queen F2. Queen H5. And this looks, I mean, we talked about it before. It's just, you can't play without three pieces. Black has a big attack.
So white tries to do something about that. Goes knight D2.
Knight D2. Pawn takes G2. Queen takes G2, but now the G file is opened. Yeah. The rook wants to come to G8. Too many pieces attacking.
It's hard to see white.
Too few defending. Yeah, Queen H1. Rook G8. Now the king is on the run. And it looks like white was forced to give up the queen here. Yeah. Takes Queen G4. Right, he played Rook G8. Yeah. King F2. Queen H3. And okay, white manages to exchange some pieces here, but
you know, I'm surprised that white even survived the mating attack, but the material balance is now white. Black is a queen up and a pawn, and white only has a rook and a knight for it. The rook, which is not even developed yet. Black has passed pawns, both an F and a passed H pawn, so.
Yeah,
I don't think this game should be going on for too long.
Should be completely lost. Yeah. I'm very surprised if Hjörvar messes this up, but okay, we'll just, you know, maybe we'll check in again, but I think Hjörvar will win. I'm more interested in Gunnarsson, who was attacking against Gwen Jones.
Okay, so let's go to that. That was board 9.
I'm gonna quickly look at it. Okay, he didn't play. We had this position, bishop f2, and I was looking at it at the break and looked nice for black. I briefly looked at an idea here with bishop h6, something like this. And if takes, I think knight where? Let's see, 3. There was some idea of maybe taking on G3, something like this. And the queen is coming to H4, which could be really, really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
But he did not go for that. He went bishop takes D5. I kind of like it for black. If white takes on E6, you take back with a pawn, then you're kicking the knight away. Sort of controlling one square, so I'm not sure about this. Knight D4, G4. Although the bishop on H1 doesn't make a huge impression right now. Bishop G2, long castle. Bishop to E3, knight to H7. We have an exchange there, and Queen D2.
You have a Durbrain wanting me to tell you that you look extremely sexy in your masculine tie.
Thank you. Is that
must be
male or female? Ah, that's John Naylor.
Yeah. Hi, John.
Crazy John. No. So F5. He's making a joke. I didn't get it. Masculine tie, because it's pink. Yes. So F5. Are we threatening anything? Not really. If F4, then just bishop takes D4. However, it could be dangerous.
Still have a very double-edged
Yeah.
Although white doesn't have black, the white king is in a lot more danger than the black one is.
Yeah, black's king is safer.
White does have
I kind of
the
like
bishop
his
here, but I'm not
minor
sure.
pieces a little bit better right now. This guy is a long way away from being influential. Yeah. So after f5 you actually have a move, rook h1. The automatic move is rook d to h8.
Yeah.
Because why would you take here and concede the file? And now also you can't take because you activated the bishop if you take on g4. So I'm pretty certain we're going to see rook d to h8. And probably...
Time situation, nothing dramatic. Gawain has 28 minutes, Jan Victor has 22. So I think we're going to come back to this later. How about we check back to our top boards?
Yeah, I think actually Jan Victor is slightly better here. I would prefer his position.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one do we want to go?
Maybe one? Tari Aryan against Pavel Ilyanov. Yeah, second last.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we left. Yeah, we saw this position, knight f6. So a lot of moves since last time. He didn't take on f6, he played queen d3. Now we actually have a threat of taking on f6 and d6. But, well, maybe it isn't much of a threat because after bishop takes f6, there's a Swiss and soup bishop f4 check. And now black has the bishop pair, and especially the very strong black squared bishop, which has no counterpart. Nice square here on d4, and it's hard for this knight to move because of the pressure on b2 down the diagonal.
The file.
Yeah, the file, yeah. and the diagonal, just to say myself. So b3, bishop b7. Wow, I like black here already. Bishop pair, active position, and probably you can castle safely. If not, then king e7. But okay, he goes f5, pressure down this diagonal. Rook h1, castles. Bishop h1, he wants the bishop protected. Queen a5. Yeah, this looks good for black. I think queen d2 goes for the ending. And when these, well, it's Ukrainian, but
Russian chess
when this Russian chess school goes for the end game, it's.
I mean, he is a
usually
pawn up.
tricky. He's a pawn up, yeah. He couldn't take back on e4, so he's just a pawn up.
Yeah.
That just looks completely winning for black. So where did he lose the pawn? Let's go back a little bit because we just played f5, pressure on e4. e4 seems well protected right now.
Yep.
But after queen a5, maybe bishop h1 was inaccurate. Because now after queen a5, where does the knight go? He went to e2. The problem with the e4 square is now we can maybe taking with the pawn is better. Let's go back one move. We take with the pawn, and if you retake with the bishop, we're gonna take on a4, win a piece. So yeah, around here you messed up, and
we have a very famous chess journalist, and we have
Ian Rogers,
Ian Rogers,
just arriving.
Who just arrived to Iceland with his wife Kathy Rogers, who
we should mention
probably
that,
don't need any introduction.
Yeah, he's a very strong player himself, but had to cut back on his playing for health reasons.
Yeah, won the Australian Championship numerous times.
Yeah.
Okay, so a very nice game by Ilyanov.
Yeah. And bishop takes a4, game over, yeah.
You know, it was interesting yesterday, I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday afternoon in the third round, on the top 13 boards, all the higher rated players who had white all won their games, and all the higher rated players who had black all drew their games.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
So all the games, like this?
On the top 13 boards. There was not a single higher rated player who won with the black pieces yesterday.
Interesting.
So I think this was a fairly convincing victory by Pavel Ilyanov with the black pieces.
Yeah.
We see the players analyzing, exchanging some thoughts on the games. You know, this is always also why it's so nice to have top grandmasters like Elianov, like Navarro, like Mehmet Yarov playing in opens like this. Because all of them are very, or most of them anyway, are very happy to share their thoughts and go analyze with their opponents, which of course is very valuable.
Yeah, you should always try to do that against a stronger player if you can, to learn from your game.
Yeah.
And
actually, Arjan Terry looks quite sad. I'm not sure he's going to be analyzing. He looks very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, probably he wanted a bigger fight. I mean, he was kind of lost in after 20 moves with white, which is never a good sign. And also he hasn't even touched his banana or his chocolate. You know, he was expecting a long fight and didn't even need energy for the fight. So.
Okay, so shall we move on to board 2? Board 2, Nico Georgiadis playing against Erwin Lamy.
Yeah, we had this ending earlier, and well, a quick look at. Yeah, okay, we had a lot of moves. We had this position right here. Well, actually, this one.
We now have Jan and Katie watchers in the room with us, and it looks like they might be setting up office here, which will put some further pressure on us, having a GM watching us continuously.
No. They've been here before. They're quite nice and nothing to worry about. Let's see, 5, and we have a quiet endgame. At first glance, this looks rather comfortable for white. I mean, yes. Okay, it's maybe not that simple, but generally speaking, the bishop is better than light with pawns on both sides of the board, but I'm not sure black should have any problems here. Look at d1, knight b7, and now we have some exchanges. Yeah, note that black wants to keep the rooks on the board.
Oh, and we are now joined by David Navarro, so yeah, white slightly better.
Yeah, I'm not sure, probably, but important to keep the rooks on, I think, for black, one rook.
So we're going to come back to the games in a while. Setup. We're going to just switch our people here on the show, and I'll be back with David Navarro in a second. See you guys. luck, everyone. I'm very happy to be joined by Grandmaster David Navarro from the Czech Republic. So first of all, welcome to the show and congratulations on your victory today.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody.
So, a few questions. Have you played in Iceland before?
Yes, I played the league once, and I played the tournament, the open tournament, 2 times before.
Okay, and how do you like it here?
Okay, I like the venue, the tournament, and so on. This time I mostly focus on chess because I have already visited the most famous tourist sites.
Did you like them when you visited?
Yes, I especially liked the Galfos waterfall.
Yeah. And when was did you visit Bobby Fischer's grave?
Yes, once.
Because we had someone in the chat asking us before we go to your game, what do you think of Bobby Fischer as a chess player?
Okay, he was perhaps the strongest player of all times. Okay, it's difficult to compare between various periods, but he just surpassed his nearest rivals, and he broke the dominance of the Soviet Union, which was very, very strong in chess back then.
Yeah, and the same person was also wondering how important do you think it is to study the games of former world champions?
Okay, I think it's important, but you don't need to study all of their games. I think you should study their good games, as well as good games of other players.
Okay, and also another thing we should congratulate on is your recent silver medal in Jerusalem in the European Championship, which just concluded. So how difficult is it to play 2 strong tournaments like that in a row?
Okay, you should ask me at the end of the tournament, but it's difficult for me even now at the beginning because I forgot my charger from the computer in Jerusalem. I was clever enough to call to the hotel and ask the receptionist to give it to Grandmaster Stefansson.
So he brought it.
Yes, but unfortunately his luggage was delayed by 2 days. But it was delayed by 2 days, so I was without my computer or without internet for several days.
So you couldn't prepare for the first 2 days?
I prepared for around 3 for a couple of minutes, and the preparation was not bad, but my play was.
Yeah, we saw your game. You made a draw yesterday against Johannesson from Iceland.
Yes, he played good chess.
Yeah. Okay, so should you go to your game? You played another Icelandic Grandmaster today, Stefan Kristjansson. So you can just take the, you can.
Okay, I prepared, I prepared for this line of Benoni. And now I was a bit surprised by the move order. Black wanted to prevent knight c4, because now after knight c4 he can play knight b6, trying to exchange my knight, and I was not so much willing to play knight a3, even though it was perfectly possible, but I'm not acquainted with the intricacies of this move order. So I played e4. Okay, and now I knew knight e5 and rook e8. But I was not familiar with rook b8, so I could perhaps try to transpose into some main lines by playing f4 or king h1, but I suspect that after f4 black can push c4 here. I don't know, I just wanted to transpose to another line which I prepared. I have some analysis of one of the main lines here, but unfortunately I forgot to check it before the game, even though I opened the file. Okay, so h3, knight e8. I was surprised by this move because I expected my opponent to play rook e8, and I wanted to follow up with rook e1, and now black should not, or he can play knight e5, okay, but it's connected with some loss of tempi. Okay, so knight e8 was the first surprise for me. I expected black to push f5, similarly as in the match like Okamnik, where Grandmaster Kamnik had to play for the win, even with black pieces, because he was trailing by a point. I'm not sure about my English, sorry. So I played rook e1 in order to control the e file after f5, and after the move I realized that black can also play knight c7. It was an unpleasant surprise for me, because now he is ready for b5, and if I play knight c4 he can just offer a knight swap with knight e5, and now knight b6, knight d7. Okay, I can repeat moves. I can avoid the repetition.
You probably don't want to repeat
Yes,
moves.
I didn't want to. And I could avoid the repetition, but it also brings very little, or I mean nothing. Black is extremely comfortable here. So I also considered knight b3. The idea is that if black plays b5, my knight can penetrate on c6 sometimes. But if black plays any normal move starting from b6 and not ending with f5, then the knight on b3 is just silly. So I played a5, trying to be consequent. Okay, I tried to be consequent even here. I also considered a strange looking move, knight f3, because the idea is to create some disorder in black's position, for example by playing bishop g5, because it's a bit unpleasant. And if black plays h6, then my long-term plan would be bishop f4, maybe bishop f1 then, and sometimes e5. Okay, I'm a bit skeptical about such a plan. I think the position is around equal, but it's an interesting idea, because both black's knights are away from the king side. So I played knight b3. Trying to penetrate on c6. Bishop d7 is quite a logical answer. Now if white plays knight a5, black can reply with knight b5, and if I exchange, black has multiple options here, but I believe knight c4 should be good for black. It's a safe option. I also have quite some pawn weaknesses here. The pawn c6 might be weak as well, even though it might also be strong. Okay, so I played bishop f4, and it looks sensible, but then I spotted an unpleasant reply. Well, I forgot to mention that if black plays queen e7, I can just take on c5, winning a pawn.
Small tactic.
Yes. But then I spotted bishop takes c3. It's not a kind of move you normally look at, but here it's connected with some concrete idea.
Okay.
Because now black threatens c4. Say if white plays some neutral move like rook a3, black can play c4, knight takes, and now knight b2.
Winning the rook.
Yes, maybe. Yes, or knight.
Or the knight, yeah.
Okay, so I considered bishop h6 here, and I had some crazy ideas like rook e8, c4, rook takes e4, rook takes a4, knight takes a4, queen a1, but I'm very skeptical about this. Last not least because black can play queen h4 here, attacking my bishop and the knight, the pawn as well. The knight might also be hanging at some lines. So I don't know, maybe white can equalize somehow, maybe he cannot.
So are you feeling a bit worried at this point of the game? Or
Okay, just for a short time.
for this short moment?
Yes, because I haven't spotted it immediately, and I also, frankly speaking, I haven't expected my opponent to spot it, because it's a
Not so easy.
counterintuitive idea. So he played knight c8, which I more or less expected, and now I took the pawn because I like to take pawns.
Very materialistic approach.
Okay.
You like pawns?
In life, I'm an idealist, but
In chess,
yes,
materialist.
yes. Okay. At the table, both in the restaurant and in the chess playing hall, I tend to be quite materialistic. So here I expected something like c4, and now I can probably play knight c5, rook takes b2, queen c1, attacking the rook, And if the rook withdraws on b4, I can just take on d6 and I should be better. And if it withdraws on b6, I can take, and black's pieces are overloaded because he cannot take with the queen. His bishop would be lost. So here I'm winning a pawn. But okay, black can of course defend better. He can, for example, play bishop b5 and it's everything but clear. Yeah. I can take on b5 and play a nasty move, knight a4, or I can withdraw the rook immediately. I don't know, but basically black has some compensation, but probably not enough after c4. I can also consider knight a5, but I will not show the details. Okay, he played rook e6, and now I had 4 sensible moves: rook a8, rook a3, rook a2, and rook takes b6. Basically the problem is if I play rook a8, I have to be ready for c4, because now the tactics seems not to work for me. Black just plays everything with tempo. Of course I missed knight d1, but probably it's not so strong. Maybe he has c3 or rook b1 here. Okay, bishop e3 was my calculation, and queen b4. Everything comes with tempo. Black's pieces are quite active, especially the rook. Of course, sorry.
You're calculating all these lines very quickly. Actually, just this morning at breakfast, we were talking about chess players who have a university degree. I think you did go to
yes.
What did you study?
I studied logic.
Logic, okay.
It's not the most practical field.
Yeah. Do you feel it ever helped you in chess?
Okay, it trained my brain in an efficient way, but frankly speaking, mathematical logic is not so much connected with chess. Yes, it's a useful brain training, and it's logic as a science is interesting in itself. But I was not good enough to become a scientist.
Well, you're a very good chess player, so that makes up for it.
So here, after c4, I wanted to say something, but okay, I also considered taking on b6 and pushing e5, because some lines work nicely for white. For example, after rook e8, knight e4. Now there are some tactics with knight f6 check if black takes on b3. I'm not entirely sure about this line, but most likely it's just much better for white.
What would you say in general? What's your favorite, what's your style of chess? Are you more, because this is a very tactical battle, of course, today.
Okay, I'm a dynamic player, but I'm trying to be universal. Because, for example, 9 years ago I was good at end games and bad in the openings. And I am slowly but surely trying to be universal. So now, for example, at the last Olympiad, I outplayed many opponents, including strong ones, in the openings, and then spotted in the end games.
Actually, the openings, we shared a coach for many years, Vladimir Jansa from the Czech Republic, who was coaching you personally, and who was coaching me as part of the Luxembourgish team. Do you still work with him?
Yes, we still work together. He is a real opening expert, especially in his opening systems like Ruy Lopez, Sicilian, Scheveningen, or
Grünfeld.
Yes, Grünfeld. Sorry. Yes, so there were some lines, but basically if black just plays c4, he seems to be very much fine, because he can, if the knight withdraws, he can recapture on b2 with tempo, and if white pushes e5, e6, then there are too many hanging pieces. So knight on b3, bishop on f4, pawn on f2 in some lines. I don't like this. So I probably should play something like rook a2, but anyway, black has a decent compensation after rook e8. Maybe white is very slightly better, maybe not. I would like to move my knight on c4, but I couldn't see how to do this, how to achieve it, because if I play a move like knight a5, he can consider rook a6. Of course, I missed that it's possible to play knight c4 at this very point, but I think black can just exchange the rooks and then try to exchange my knight somehow, playing bishop b5 or something else. Okay, and if I play knight c6, he can just play queen b6. Of course, I missed another move here, namely knight b8. I only calculated e5, which probably leads to equality, while after knight b8, white seems to be slightly better. So maybe rook a2 was the best move here. It looks quite logical to protect the b2 pawn, but I wanted to protect the knight for some reason, and the reason was that I wanted to push e5. Now, if the rook were on a2, I would have had no threats, because after e takes d6, he could just take on e1 and take on b3 then. Okay, black takes it. I can just play bishop e3, winning the c5 pawn. If black plays g5, I can probably withdraw the bishop, and also here black is fighting for equality, and he has some real problems to solve. But black played c4, which is a good move, and I probably spotted it but forgot about it later on, or maybe I missed it in this line and saw it in another one. So I was not very happy, because if I play knight e5, black just takes on e5 and then plays knight d6 or rook takes b2, depending on what I play. So I played e6 without too much calculating, because I saw no other satisfactory option. I mean, satisfactory in terms of my high ambitions. Okay, perhaps black can just take it, because the tempting exchange sacrifice brings little or nothing. Actually, black might already be better here. I'm not. Oh, okay, I missed rook a8. It's not something to be proud of, but anyway, black has rook c6 here and rook e1 check. Okay, I haven't moved the king yet. Sorry, rook c6, rook e1 check. Perhaps it's around equal.
Very complicated position.
Okay, the game on the whole was very complicated. I can also play moves like knight a5 or knight d2, but my general impression is that they should not be enough for an equality, sufficient for an equality, not for an equality, for an advantage, I'm sorry. Black took on b3, which also looks perfectly fine. And now I saw a crazy line. Rook takes b3, but unfortunately the crazy lines usually don't work. Okay, at first black can play a move like king h8, preparing f takes e6, d takes e6, bishop c6, which is now not good because of e7 check. And okay, my big idea was queen b6, e takes d7. And as most big ideas, it just doesn't work. Okay, if black takes, then everything is all right. I just take and play bishop h6. Yes, and winning the prize.
That is true.
Okay, but black can just withdraw the queen somewhere, say on d8 or on c7 as well, and I suspect he is very much winning here.
How disappointed are you when you see a crazy idea like this and then you realize it just doesn't work?
Oh, okay, I tend to be more disappointed when I execute a brilliant idea and then find the hole, and my opponents find it as well. So, okay, now white can fight for a draw with d takes c8, but of course I prefer beautiful ideas to work, but some ideas are just too beautiful to be true. So here I played bishop g5, which is also not the most ordinary move, but it's easy to calculate that black cannot take the bishop, because now he has some serious problems on the back rank. For example, now I have a check on e8, which is winning. I will just show one important detail, because now black wants to give a perpetual check, but I have rook d1, knight d1 here.
Very nice.
And here black is lost.
Yeah, check.
There is one on f8. So, if black plays rook f8, I suspect I'm winning some material with rook e8 here. So, if black plays f6, I can just withdraw the bishop. First I would take here, and now I can withdraw the bishop somewhere, and the black bishop cannot get away anyway, and the b3 pawn is hanging. Maybe I can go also elsewhere, I don't know. So, if black plays knight e7, I have some ideas with connected with rook a7 here, so queen c7 is a good move, the most reasonable one. I took. Okay, it's all logical, and now if I take, it's probably around equal. Black can play some move like h5, and the b2 pawn might be weak sometimes. So I prefer rook e8, rook a8 without too much calculating. Frankly speaking, I believed black could play this and h6, but on a closer inspection, it proved to be too dangerous. There are some checks. My original intention was to play some neutral move now with black pieces, but first of all, white sergeants to take and give a check on c3, and even move like bishop e5 doesn't look very neutral and very safe. But well, black can probably play bishop e5 immediately here in order to cover the block, block the e file. And if white plays f4, then black can give a check, winning tempo, or maybe he can sometimes even take on c3 or play queen b7, queen b7 at times. So he has a lot of ideas, and if I do nothing, I might end up worse here, because I have some pawn weaknesses. But I believe the position to be around equal after bishop e5. White certainly has some ideas like bishop h6, but then again, he needs to calculate queen b7, which seems to be strong. I don't know.
So your opponent must have blundered now, shortly.
Yes, but it's easy to blunder in such a complicated position. I don't understand it myself. Basically, I have already analyzed it with my opponent. I saw a lot of lines, but I also must have made many mistakes in my calculations. So I heard that two strong female chess players dub themselves as Miss Strategy and Miss Tactics.
Yes.
So I think there should be miscalculation as well. So queen takes...
Maybe you can be their Mr. Calculation.
Yes, but miscalculation just sounds better.
A pun, yeah.
Okay, rook a8. And now h6 was the decisive mistake, because now I can play queen e7. And if black takes, he loses a piece. And on the top of this, he cannot make use of his c4 pawn, because I can play knight e4, threatening knight f6, and it's just lost. So queen f5 is logical, and now if I play some move like queen e8, it's not clear at all. Perhaps my opponent expected something like this, which was also my original intention. But then black's king escapes, and my king might also become quite weak, even weaker than black's one. But okay, there is a little nice move, g4, and now black is lost. Because if he takes, I can take here, take on f7, threatening mate in 1. And after moves like h5, I can even play f4, give a check, and another one.
Very nice.
Yes, okay, black still had two reasonable moves which give him some slight chances. First was king h7, because now my queen is hanging as well, and black threatens to take on g5 sometimes. So I would have taken, and now white should play bishop takes e7, and it should be technically winning. I can play knight a4 or rook a2 and win it slowly, or I can take here and to hope that it's also winning. Perhaps it is, but white needs to calculate something, maybe knight b6. White still needs to make some good moves, and it's also easy to make a mistake, because f6 looks very tempting, but black has knight g8 here. Okay, white can still try knight e4, but it doesn't look convincing at all. White has no direct threats and ruined pawn structure. So another option was queen f3, but it's also losing. I can take and play queen e3. If black takes, then white doesn't take on c4, which would allow rook c2, but he can play knight a4, knight e4, winning.
Yeah.
But okay, black can still try rook takes c3, but it's lost anyway. White can play king g2, putting the queen on f3 after virtually a very sensible move. Queen takes d5, queen f3, and white either achieves an endgame, an exchange up, which should be easily winning, or he wins even more material. Okay, it's just winning. Rook takes c4 or whatever else. Okay, so it was an interesting game.
Very nice game.
It was not flawless because black could have taken on c3 and played bishop a4 at one moment, but it was full of interesting and beautiful ideas.
Yeah. So I think both myself and our viewers online and in the room here very much enjoyed this. We had a lot of people telling us that it was very impressive, the speed at which you see things and that you explained everything very well and very clearly. So I think you gained some new fans today. And you're now back in up on 3.5 out of 4. Still, that's right, 3.5?
Yes.
Still 6 rounds to go, so we wish you the best of luck and thank you very much for joining us
on the show
today. And we'll be back shortly.
Okay,
thank
goodbye.
You.
Bye.
back, I'm joined again by Ingvar.
Yes.
That was very insightful.
Yes, indeed.
David Navarro, who surely must be one of the friendliest and most polite guys you'll ever get to meet. I've known him for a long time, so he does try to remember everyone he meets. He will try to greet your own language, so just a very nice guy and a very strong chess player, as he just showed.
Yeah.
So, do you want to dive back into the action?
Yeah, we're going to start with Wayne Jones against Johannesson, where we left after rook h1. We thought he would play the automatic move rook d to h8, which he did. Wayne took on d4, and let's see how the game progressed. Rook h1, bishop takes h1, and looking at this, I like the black position. We seem to have the better bishop and some chances to attack the white king, which seems a bit weaker here. So king g3, trying to carve some squares, the entry square for the queen.
And yes, we also we had a Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura joining us on the chat, so very big honor there for us.
Yeah.
A very big pressure as well.
So it's okay. Queen a5, okay, queen h6, stop black from entering on the king side, but now he's going to try to enter through the queen side. So queen a1, I thought might be a threat, but he allows it. But g takes f5, queen e1 check, king h2, and now pawn to e4. Trying to activate the bishop. So if we take, we immediately activate the bishop. So queen f8 check seems like a nice move here, and black is forced to
retreat to d8.
The bishop. Now f takes g6, and this going south for Ingvar, or does he have a perpetual here? At first glance, this looks like a perpetual. Yeah. We should be able to just give jacks here, and then once we give jacks here, we just. I mean, if the king goes this way, just start giving jacks. And okay, we don't want to give up pawns here, so I guess here. Yeah, we can just keep on this. It's probably useful to stay on the black squares. Well, not here actually.
Actually, after.
Yeah, queen e1 here, of course.
Yeah.
And well, should be. I thought it should be a perpetual, but
must be a perpetual.
What's happening to
queen d2?
Queen d2, yeah. And I'll go here.
We don't have any.
No, that's perhaps trickier
okay, let's go back a couple of moves. After king f2.
I'm going to get the current position. He didn't, let's see, played queen g5 check, king f1, and he didn't give a check. He went e takes d3. So yeah, very unusual triple pawns here on the. Oops, that wasn't played. I was going to highlight the square. I'm sorry about that. Or was it played? No, it wasn't. Yeah. These three triple pawns and one white pawn in between, so quite an unusual figuration on the d file. And this is the current position. Black just took on d3. And the question is, what the hell was going on?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it looks like it took on d6. If you place something like g7,
g7, d2.
Yeah, but then the king, king.
After king e2, I will go queen e3.
Yes, of course, yeah, completely winning.
So
yeah, so I can't allow that. So
Wayne took on d6.
Queen d6. Now he wants to, if d2, maybe throw in a check on e6.
Yeah.
And oh, it's tricky. Where do we go? King c7. Is d6 a problem? I'm not sure.
What if we go to b8?
It's just going to be it. And now king e2.
Yeah.
Now there's no queen e3. Now we just in that case we just keep our king here, promote the pawn. But on the other hand, we could. Well, we have some moves actually. Queen c1, king g2.
So do we have a perpetual now? Because the problem is now after a move like...
Now we have the h6 square if we want.
Yes, and also after a move
But,
like queen g5, you can't interpose the queen because
yeah, then we promote.
we can
so
take...
yeah, if white tries to stop any ideas of a perpetual, and this pawn is queenie.
And the g pawn is queening as
this
well.
is queen as well, actually. Yeah.
Then we'll probably... Oh, but we have queen... no, we don't. I thought we had queen g1, but there's still bishop g2.
Yeah, but we can take
We can just take, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yow.
Yeah, it should be winning for black. So, probably now it's a perpetual if black wants. Because, well, yeah.
After king.
This is the current position. He played queen g5 check. Okay, let's get the current position. Queen g5 check.
It's hard to see how white can avoid the
Yeah, now we
perpetual
can
here.
go for this one,
Yeah.
etc. We can also go to h6 if we want to stay on this diagonal to give checks. Before with the queen on f8 we couldn't do that. So maybe Jon Viktor is getting another
Scalp.
Yeah, another good draw.
Yeah.
Unless there's something going on. I mean, it's a bit sharp still and hard to figure out really.
I think this should end in a draw. Should we maybe see how Abdul Malik is still fighting on? I was quite surprised that this game is still going on.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we think this is probably drawish, but there might be some chances. But okay, we'll leave it up to the players to figure it out. We're not going to figure out such a complicated position in a few minutes.
It's actually, you know, we started 3 hours ago and we don't have a single result yet from our top 20. How many boards do we have on here?
Yeah, sure, we have results in... they just haven't updated there. I mean, Eljanov already won.
Oh yes, of course,
yes,
of course.
Some results.
Of course.
So still going on, yeah.
Still a queen up.
The tricky thing was not to allow white some kind of a fortress.
Yeah.
And, well, that's hardly going to be.
I think black can probably just...
Black will, okay, it's just a matter of time. He just needs to find the win. And
he could just start pushing the h-pawn, maybe.
Yeah, we can make another passed pawn. We can play c5 at some point, get a passed d-pawn. And once the pawns start rolling on the king side, we always have ideas of putting the queen on b2.
Exactly.
Stuff like this. It's just...
it must be over, surely.
Yeah.
So we predict that Hjörvar is soon going to join Pavel Ilyanov on for
so
the
let's
we see him there in the background on the video.
So we stay on this one for a minute.
Walking around very relaxedly. I think he has...
yeah, he's quite relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, should be an easy win.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go to maybe check in on Erwin Lamy's endgame?
Okay, looks like...
Black has advanced some pawns on the king side.
Yeah. So for now he's, well, blocking white's bishop, but in doing so he's left himself with a rather passive piece as well. Keep accidentally drawing.
Can you just maximize it maybe on the right side?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, left himself with bad piece for the moment. He has to protect his pawn. But he's advancing now on the king side. And we've seen before that he's quite an accomplished endgame player. Gets a lot of his wins in that facet of the game.
So what do you think?
I think I would prefer black here. I mean, he has all the entry points covered on the d-file. The king is doing a good job here. Also the knight, so this white rook is not
We had a move.
do any damage
he played rook a8.
Oh, black played rook a8.
Yes. Very strange looking move at first sight.
Yeah, must have some.
Does he want to maybe go to a6 and d6? And he can't go. He couldn't go to
yeah,
d8
that could be it. He wants to contest the d file, but without allowing a rook takes d8. He wants to do it on d6 to retake with the pawn. Rook d5, okay, but white isn't really threatening to take on c5. We just play c6, I think, and then we
there's no
capture the piece on c5. So yeah, rook a6 to d6 seems like the only logical idea, actually, connected with rook a8.
However, I just wonder if after rook a6 now,
Yes.
if we make any random move, let's say king d2, just a random move, after rook d6,
b2, any, yeah.
After rook d6, can we now take on c5?
Yeah, we can, but okay, it's just an exchange because we get this pawn
but
instead.
I was wondering about this endgame.
Yeah, because we get quick.
Okay,
Maybe
like
b4. No,
king
not
c1
yet.
obviously was a very bad
of course.
random move. We could have our king on,
We could have made
on d3.
Yeah.
Let's say king d3.
Let's say king d3, rook d6. Something like this.
I was just wondering about this endgame. But we have a move, and it's not rook a6, it's c6. Straight away.
Yeah, so he decides to kick the rook right away. The rook comes back to d1. But then, yeah, that makes rook a8 look a little bit strange.
Yeah.
But sometimes in endgames...
but then again, white also lost sort of a tempo with rook d5, so nothing dramatic happened.
But sometimes you're not immediately demonstrating your idea. I mean, maybe he has some idea of how to break through.
By playing rook a8.
Yeah, maybe he has some idea to break through on the king side, but he's just playing a little bit of, you know, a bluffing game. So rook a8 first, and then he comes back to the king side, and then starts to try and do something there.
Okay, so shall we come back to this a bit later?
Yeah, I think black shouldn't be in any danger of losing here.
Maybe go to another young Norwegian player who we, I think, haven't talked about at all yet, Johan Sebastian Christiansen, who is also on 3 out of 3. He beat the former world junior champion Ivani Puya yesterday. So today he's playing the very strong IM stopper. Really should be a GM anytime soon.
Yeah, and we only had a brief look at this in the beginning, but it seems like we have a rather critical looking position. Maybe just back up a few moves, because it looks like we had a piece sacrifice.
Yeah.
No, there's a rook missing off the board, so that's actually black is actually up materially, is up the exchange at the moment.
And 2 pawns.
Yeah.
So.
However, white can take on g4, but that's tricky because of
a mate.
The mate ideas on h2.
Time situation. White just has 2.5 minutes now for his last 4 moves.
Okay, we have them now on the webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to demonstrate, if we take on g4, I think f takes should be stronger, because if you take back, the bishop takes.
You wouldn't take.
Well, it's actually check. And white can't take because of mate, and if white doesn't take, then maybe bishop g6, now we're threatening mate and taking on e4. So it looks like white can't take on at g4. So shouldn't black just be in good shape here, up the exchange and some pawns, and with the attack, and white isn't really threatening anything, as far as I can see.
Yeah. I am trying to find something for white. think we should stick with this game. He's down to 1:30.
Yeah,
Still has to play 4
6.
moves. Just looked at the clock there. He must find something now, otherwise he'll just be too much material down. And he did play, what did he play? Just looked away from the webcam for a sec. Can we receive?
Yeah, we should be receiving a move. Can't actually see it either.
He
D5.
pushed D5, yeah. Okay.
I mean, he's just trying to make something happen, but...
What if black now simply retreats knight f6? Does that work?
What happens after... no, I can take on f6 with the bishop.
And then I take on f3?
And I take on f3 with something queen or rook. And g3 is hanging.
Oh, of course.
So it's, yeah. Because we would like to relieve the tension if we can. There's tension on g4.
Very.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see anything.
I don't believe in
Dangerous for
white
white.
chances too much.
No.
I think we can still stick with this game. Both players under 5 minutes. I think something might be happening here fairly soon. It's always nice to have the players on the webcam.
Yeah. So Stopa, he's Polish, yes.
Yeah. What do you make of the body language?
Well, actually, they both look. Yeah, I mean, Stopa looks quite calm.
Quite focused
But,
as
yeah.
well, yeah.
But meanwhile, Christensen was, kind of looking around like he's not all there, you know, too thrilled about his position.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he shouldn't be.
I mean, it's the kind of position where you can't really resign. There's still a lot.
No, there's so many pieces.
Any
I mean,
mistake, yeah.
You have to try and throw something at your opponent.
Yeah.
Some desperado.
So.
She
and
takes
black
d5,
took
yeah.
on d5.
Why not? Free pawn white wasn't really
There's
threatening
someone
anything.
asking us how old Christiansen
Yeah.
is. I'm not really sure.
And now Christensen is looking rather depressed about the situation, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay, he made the move. I don't see it.
Just looking up for our viewers how old. So he was born in '98.
Okay,
So he's 17.
17 years old this year. Yeah, it seems like all of these young Norwegian guys have played here before.
Yeah.
It's not the first time they play here. He made a move and he took on g4 now.
Okay, so we're
But
gonna get some.
what's the difference? What exactly is the difference?
So you want
If we
to
go
take
for,
with
yeah,
pawn.
let's see if we go for the same line. We take on g4.
Obviously, we can't take on g4 as demonstrated before.
Yeah.
Where do you even go?
Yeah. Where do we go?
I wonder if we're missing something because Stopa is deep in thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, maybe it's some desperado. Okay, it just
Okay,
took with the
just
f-pawn.
took-
Yeah. I don't actually see the point for white. Where does the bishop go now? I think we might see resignation
Yeah.
in a few moments.
Down to 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Took a d5 check.
Okay, giving up the bishop.
Yeah. Probably just gonna retake. Yeah, there's one idea though. Rook takes d5, queen c4, but yeah, we play maybe rook takes f1 check.
What if we
because
just
if
go